saved my soul. Freedom is all that I know. The old made new. Jesus, when I met you, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul. Freedom is all that I know. The old made new. Jesus, when I met you, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. I needed rescue, my sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing, now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day.
Good morning, Rooted Men. Happy and blessed Thursday morning. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Church, both here in Oxford, Michigan, and Greendale, Indiana, and a lot of places in between. Great to have all of you on board. We're going to be looking at Ecclesiastes chapter 9, and finally, the writer of Ecclesiastes is bringing a little bit of the two kingdoms back again, and the idea that we got to look at maybe a little broader than just the kingdom of this world. So, good news, huh? Good news. Maybe it's not as meaningless as he has been telling us it is when it comes to our lives. We just got to see beyond the kingdom of this world. We'll get to that in just a second. Bert Reggiani, I got to tell you, I think might have been on before I was, because when I started setting up, he was already there. Good morning, Bert. Steve Giroux, I don't know why StreamYard's doing this now. They're giving us your YouTube login rather than just saying Steve Giroux. That's frustrating. Chuck B, good morning. Chris Connolly, good morning. I'm out there on X. Ken Gooch, good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Looking forward to seeing you tonight at the manger, and please wear your Arctic gear. We're going to be in single digits probably this evening. And so let's dress up in our I don't know what. I got to buy some snowmobile gear or something like that. And my cousin Dave Donnelly, hey, you're welcome to come up to Michigan if you'd like. You know, we're going to be in single digits this evening. Brian Vlaming, good morning, men. John Carson, I'm going to be calling you a little bit. I want to see if I can visit with you sometime this afternoon. So we'll touch base and see what your schedule's like. So good to kind of hear that you're getting around and getting some things done. We're praying for you. We keep praying for you. I'll talk to you about that a little bit more later. Let's see. Okay, we got more on, but maybe they'll check in here in a second. All right. I'm assuming you can see me and hear me because there's no comments, so I'm going to pull up the reading. Dave Donnelly, planning on a Frisbee at the beach today. Well, if we threw Frisbees today, they would be cracking in half. And what does Steve say? It's YouTube. They started using handles which are unique to each person. I could change it, but my name was taken. Oh, interesting. Really weird. All right. Well, let's pull up the reading. There it is. And let's get to, I want to do this because I think it's bigger for you. There it is. All right. Wisdom better than folly. All of a sudden, he's going to start stretching a little bit and realizing that maybe, if we look a little closer, it's not as meaningless as we think. But what has to happen is we got to draw in another kingdom, right? Verse 11, again I say that under the sun, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor the bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge. What he's trying to say is, I'm beginning to realize that things don't always go as my logic should say they would go, right? That the strongest always win, or the riches, the people who are wealthy and rich are the smartest, or that the people who work their butts off are the ones that are going to have all of the wealth. He's beginning to see that it's not always that way. That he looks around and sees there's not a consistency to the pattern. He says, nor favor to those with knowledge. But he says, listen to this, but time and chance happen to them all. It rains on the just and the unjust, the scripture says. That good people do suffer. And bad people seem to get rich. But those riches don't seem to get them anywhere. But good people seem to be blessed. He's beginning to see that there's something more than just the external stuff. And he says, verse 12, for man does not know his time. He says, it's like fish that are taken in an evil net, and like birds that are caught in a snare, so the children of men are snared at an evil time. He's now beginning to say there's an evil in this world that's disrupting what my wisdom and knowledge should say exists. There's an evil. He's finally getting to it. That maybe there's supposed to be patterns in this world, but they're not because some evil force has broken the patterns. And boy, oh boy, does that make sense. And boy, oh boy, does that make sense about Jesus' ministry. As he steps into this broken, evil world and starts to heal blind people, and he begins to heal deaf people, and he begins to heal lepers, and he begins to speak about life and truth, and he begins to bring some of the logical patterns back, and that there is supposed to be built into the system that there's blessings to those who follow God's wisdom, and that ultimately that may be it, that there is something that's beyond what my mind is comprehending. Evil. And he describes it as a net and a snare. And he says, snared at an evil time, when it suddenly falls upon them. And there it is. That randomly, these bad things happen. But now I'm going to declare that that's not just vanity, it's evil. There is an evil that exists. Two kingdoms. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly, Jesus says. I'm here to crush the devil's head. There is evil in the world. And if you introduce evil into the world, you can start to understand the inconsistencies, and life is not as much vanity if there's a God. If there's only evil, then this life is meaningless. I mean, life is tough enough. But then you add evil into the into the situation, and all of a sudden, whoa. 13. I have also seen this example of wisdom under the sun, and it seems great to me. There was a little city with a few men in it, and a great king came against it and besieged it, building great siege works against it. But there was found in that city a poor wise man, and he, by his wisdom, delivered that city. Gentlemen, do you see what he's saying? I've seen with my own eyes that there is a different wisdom. And if we can attain that different wisdom, we can defeat evil. By all intents and purposes, this great king besieging this small town and this small city, this should have been an easy task. But somehow this old man, this poor wise man, had the wisdom to miraculously deliver the city. The first city that the nation of Israel went into when they crossed the Jordan River to go into the Promised Land was Jericho. How stupid and silly it is to walk around a city, because God says so, for 7 days. And on the seventh day to walk around it 7 times. And then, as they've been watching you from this massive city, this powerful city, and here you are, an army that hasn't fought a battle yet, just blow your trumpets. Okay. There was a wisdom that God had directed Joshua, and in his obedience, he lived according to it, even though it didn't make much sense. But as soon as those horns were blown, the walls of the city, an earthquake took place, and they all fell. And Israel defeated Jericho. Is there a wisdom where we can hear Jesus say, but I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly? Even while you live in this broken, sinful world, I've got more for you. But you got to see me. Stop looking at the winds and the waves. Stop looking at the world and look at me. Whoo! Wow. Yet no one remembered that poor man, right? Jesus was a nobody. He died on a cross. And all intents and purposes, it looks like our good guy lost. But on the third day, he rose again as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And the church has existed ever since. And nations have tried to kill Christians, tried to destroy Christianity, and it never happens. It never succeeds. Does that mean Christians don't die? Yeah, they do. They suffer. But they end up into an eternal rest that God has prepared for us, and a new kingdom where there's no more pain, no more suffering. You know the rest of it. But my point is, this is what he's getting to. He's seeing evil and he's seeing a spiritual good that is tied to a certain kind of wisdom that sees different, a biblical wisdom. Jesus says to his disciples, when the Spirit comes, he's going to guide you into all truths. When the Spirit comes, he's going to give you the words to say. When the Spirit comes, you will be able to do things you've never been able to do before, and you'll begin to take over evil. You'll beat evil. So then he says, verse 16, so I have to say that wisdom is better than might, though the poor man's wisdom is despised and his words are not heard. This world sometimes doesn't see that God's answered it all, and that if we would just hear him and firmly root ourselves in his unconditional love and his eternal truth, we would begin to gain a wisdom about the whole world, about our lives in that world. And like that no unknown man, with that wisdom, we can put on the full armor of God and we can be victorious. We can stand firm. 17. The words of the wise heard in quiet are better than the shouting of the rulers among fools. My advice to a lot of people today is shut off the news. It's a bunch of noise. And start seeing the world around us through the eyes of God's wisdom. We can howl at the wind, but the wind's still going to blow. But we can talk to the one who can change the weather. We can talk to the one who can walk on water. We can talk to the one who can still a sea and tell it to calm down. Verse 18, wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. Wow. See, sinners are tied to evil. It's like an attachment. It decays, kills, steals, and destroys. But wisdom, the Word become flesh, who dwelt among us and gave us his word. We firmly root ourselves in it, and before you know it, we find stability. We find strength. We find hope. That we begin to identify evil, and we can actually go to war with it. Because our war is not against flesh and blood, but it's against principalities and powers in this dark world. That we can be victorious. We can stand firm. At the end of the day, we can be men who stand firm. No matter what waves came, no matter what attacks came from evil, because he who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. All right, I'll leave it at that. All right, I can't hit that link yet, but I'll check it out. My cousin Dave Donnelly provided a link that I'm not sure exactly what it is, but maybe we grab it in a minute. All right, everybody, I think that's it. I'll be back at 8:40 for our Advent devotion. Blessing on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.